Yes, please, all these which are sitting on the stairs, there are empty chairs here on the middles. Feel comfortable, sit nicely and relax to get the next session coming from Rinat Zilberstein. She will take us, first of all, who is here developer? A lot of hands, marvelous. So the next thing will be for developers or those which want to be developers, and she will take us a day in a developer life using AI, and she is the VP R&D and General Manager at the company called AT&T. I'm sure everybody knows about it. And she will take us for this specific use case. So Rinat, please come to stage. Applause for Rinat.
So that's it. Good morning, everyone. So you're already 2 hours into this day, so I hope that you're all fresh up and ready for the next session. So raise your hand if you do, and if you don't, just go to the backstage. Yes, perfect. Okay, let's start. So imagine that one day, the entire software development lifecycle that we are used to have today is being automated by amazing agents. They are all with a specific AI engine that are doing what we are doing today. They are talking with each other. They're saying, no, this user story is lousy. It doesn't have enough information. And then it goes to development. And then we have a bug. So imagine a world of AI agents talking with each other and actually helping us to be better. So this is the end of my presentation. And I will take you in the next 15 minutes into the journey that will get us there. It will get us into the point where each of us actually has like a little mini-me in the software development lifecycle that is helping us to be better, faster, efficient, do the more interesting stuff that we are all happy to do. A bit about myself. I'm from Tel Aviv with 4 adorable children, and I'm the little sister of 3 older boys. Which may be indicating on some of my DNA of have to survive after 3 big brothers, obviously. I've started as a testing engineer in Interwise. So why we have AT&T in Israel today is actually a result of an acquisition of a startup company called Interwise back in the days. Back days, we were like around 60 people, R&D, bought by a big company called AT&T. And since then, we grew very drastically here, over 500 people, which are doing a lot of technology for the strategic areas of the company, from cyber to field operation to AI, engineering, mobile experience. So many of the strategic products are being done here in our amazing R&D center. I'm coming with a technology background. I've been in different technology roles, from testing, engineers, integration, product management, leadership, and also. And today, I am leading the R&D center here in Israel. One of my faults is that I'm passionate about too many things. And the big things that I'm really, really passionate about, other than community and everything we have as a society, but it's specifically for women. I'm doing a lot of mentoring in order to promote women to get into the tech industry. Some of them think that it's scaring, so it's not. So I'm doing my best to have more and more children and girls coming into the tech industry, and also promote them into taking a bigger role after they get into the tech industry. And the second thing that I'm very passionate about is about technology that actually change our life. And what can be a better example than what we're going to discuss today, which is the GenAI. So we have the software development lifecycle, right? All of us know that. And obviously, it's not like step after step after step, but in general, that's what we do when we actually want to execute a product into productions to our customers. So we get requirements from the business, or we work with the business on the requirements. And then we have the part of designing and planning and development and testing. And we have this entire software development lifecycle. And when you want to think how GenAI embedded into that cycle, you need to pause for a second and say, okay, how does this cycle actually look like? What are the use cases that we have under each of these phases? And where do we invest the majority of our time? And these will be the great candidates to be automated with the use of AI. So that's what we did. we took the software the development, the SDLC, and we said, OK, let's break down the use cases under each of the phases. And let's say which of the use cases is the one that we invest the majority of our time. And also, which of the use case we don't really like. Like, how many of the people here really like to solve security vulnerabilities? Raise your hand. No, no one, right? So there are definitely some things that are just a bit of a pain in what we do on the day-to-day, and these are amazing, great examples to go ahead and automate with the use of AI. So these are the use cases, and then we say, OK, let's actually say, where do we invest our time? Because everyone can say, just to raise it, to say, let's do that, but let's be accurate about where we are going to invest our automation efforts. So we went to something amazing which we built in the last 3 years, which is a data warehouse, not a customer data warehouse, which obviously we had for years and for our offers and services and customers. But what we did in the last 3 years, we built a data warehouse of everything we do within the company. We are integrating into every tool that we have in the company, the user stories, the tickets, the bugs, production incidents, financial data. All of that data is being injected to one amazing data warehouse. And think and imagine, you are all data people. Think of what we can gain as a company when we have access to such an amazing data warehouse. So we said, OK, let's go to our data warehouse and understand where do we invest the majority of our time. And it won't be surprising for you to see that we invest majority of our time in development, right? It's not a surprise. But it was good, first of all, to see that, but it also gave us a reflection that, OK, we will start by automating some of the development flows, but these are the next ones that we will follow. Next one will be everything we do on the operation, once a product went into production. I want to make sure that none of you sticks to the specific portion of that cake, because it really differentiates between a startup, medium company, big company, a lot of platforms, legacy. This pie probably will change, but we do see good correlation on the priorities, and that's what we wanted to achieve out of it, where we should prioritize our automation efforts. So we said, OK, we have that information. What will be our design principle when we are coming into creating some kind of a platform for our software delivery lifecycle? So we said, OK, we are focused on impact. I think it's clear by my previous slide. We want to make sure we start with the most important, impactful use cases that we have in our workflows. Second of all, we said, we are a big company. You need to understand, we are a technology organization of thousands and thousands of developers. So it's not like everyone can just invest what he wants to do and just do it on his own and actually distribute it to all the other developers. It doesn't work like that. You need to build a platform. You need to build the right architecture that everyone will be able to reuse it. So we said we are going to build a reusable platform. Another design principle that we embedded is we want AI to be embedded within the processes. We don't want people to say, can I use AI? I cannot use AI. No, just let's embed it in their day flow. We are talking about use cases, as I showed you, but eventually we want to create that bigger picture where the use cases are starting to talk with each other. For example, use case of creating a user story will actually talk with a use case of writing the code and testing and unit testing and production. And we want eventually the entire flow to be connected between the different use cases. And as every product company, we need to mature. You're starting with something, you're learning, you want to adapt, so we want to be very fast and execute into our technology organization tools very fast that they can test, execute, and then we can get back the feedback and improve as any product company. So let's see what we did for the development. That's where we started, because we said the biggest investment is in the development space. So we started with Copilot, right? Everyone knows Copilot. It's the basic. So once it was available, somewhere in February 2023, right? So we allowed all our developers, go ahead, use Copilot. That's the best. That will create efficiency. That will create you, that will save you time in things that you don't want to do. And we just said, yeah, we solve it. We give everyone Copilot, and that's it. Everyone are very efficient and happy. But that's not the reality, right? Because Copilot is a generic engine until that point in time. And people were lacking the information that we actually get from accessing our own information, the repositories, the ALM system, the tickets, everything that relates to what we do as a company, not to the generic population. So we started with Copilot. It's a great start. It's already been deployed around the company, but it gets you into a specific point, and we are not stopping at a specific point. We want more. So we did more, and we created something called RepoSense. And I will start with a movie showing you what RepoSense is all about, and then I will explain a bit more about it.
Let's take a look at how RepoSense can make development more efficient. RepoSense allows developers to ask questions about their code and generate examples right from the web portal. RepoSense leverages the power of GenAI to deeply understand your AT&T codebase, product, and work history, boosting your development tasks. Let's say Dana has received a new task. Previously, Dana needed to manually analyze the codebase to get started. Now, with RepoSense, Dana can explore the code by simply asking questions and even receive implementation suggestions for the current task. RepoSense generates tailored code suggestions for Dana, enabling her to complete her task swiftly. These are not generic snippets, but her specific code, customized to the application and designed for seamless integration with the codebase. She can easily copy the code into her development environment and begin testing. As Dana continues working on the suggested code within her environment, GitHub Copilot assists her to refine her code with public domain knowledge. For example, it can generate automated tests for her. Together, RepoSense and Copilot are like the dynamic duo of coding, making development smoother and faster.
Looks great, right? So it's not only a generic information. Yeah, you could clap. That's nice. And we have here the team that is actually did it. So you can applaud, and they will be happy because they can be very proud in what they've done. So, by the way, nobody told us to do that. It's just the innovative spirit around the team who want to do more. And once they did that, we communicated to the company CTO, and he said, wow, I want it for everyone. So suddenly, this innovative product became a big thing that we are going to distribute across all the technology organization of AT&T, which I say it's thousands. That's the Israeli spirit, right? We start small and then we run faster. So that was RepoSense, but you know what? It's not good enough. So it does have a deep understanding of the code. It does have a great understanding of the different repositories and tickets and bugs and everything that is happening across our data warehouse, as I said. But it's not enough. And why it's not enough? Because if you've seen in that flow, as a developer, I actually need to go to a different portal, type what I actually want to do, get the answer, copy, get the answer, copy. How many of you are actually doing such a process when you develop? You just want to code, right? You don't want anyone to disturb you. And some developers, which are very AI savvy, tech savvy, will do that because they will understand that this is the best way to approach what they need to do. But not everyone, especially in a big company. So we said, OK, that's great, but it's not enough. So we are now taking it to the next step, and I'm going to introduce you to Jumpstart. RepoSense is already in production across our technology organization, and we are now starting to get feedback. This is something that we are now in development process, and we'll deploy into the organization in a couple of months. So let's see what Jumpstart is all about.
Some developers who are always on the front line and have adopted an AI-first mindset benefit greatly from AI. However, not everyone finds it intuitive to start with AI. To make code generation even more streamlined, we've built a Jumpstart automation on top of RepoSense, embedded directly into our developers' workflow. When a developer begins working on their user story, Jumpstart analyzes the content, understands the subtasks, and generates code for each suggested task. It then sends them the suggested implementation through Microsoft Teams. For straightforward tasks, the developers will use the provided code. For more complex scenarios, they iteratively refine it within their development environment with the assistance of Copilot. To enhance the outcomes for complex tasks, we are integrating AET and T-Agent's platform into the solution. This approach ensures that the generated code will require less modification and tuning time. This smarter, more accessible approach ensures every developer can rapidly deliver value.
It's not for me, it's for the team that is here and can be, as I said, very proud. So what we're actually seeing here is that we are starting from the ALM. As I said, the strategy around everything, that everything will talk, every use case will talk with the next use case. In the bottom of all that, there is a set of agents, which I told you about earlier, which we train to be the best developer, to be the best product manager, to be the best. And these agents are actually feeding the entire flow. So that's what brings me into what we started with. So the future of all that, I was just doing a deep dive into the developer use case that we decided to tackle. It's only the beginning. But at the end of that, the agent that you were just seeing in the back end, after I moved the user story to in progress, there was an agent processing the user story, analyzing it, going into the repositories, understanding the code, and proposing the right code. So the same thing that I showed you for development will be done for all the other roles that we have in the company. Product manager, test architect, everyone will be able to enjoy the privilege of having like a mini-me or personal assistant or AI booster or AI agent, whatever you want to call it, as long as you actually are going to do that move and enjoy the benefit of automating the most important flows that you have. You can see here a small drawing of the skills and the agents that I was just referring to. So if I summarize everything that I was saying until now, first of all, I think it's an example to the Israeli spirit that we, all of us, want to execute across the companies that we work with starting small. Don't think as a granted. If GenAI is coming into the market, go ahead and actually strategize how you're going to manage that, how you're going to embed it to everything you do. Create some kind of a tiger team that focus on how to make it, to take it to another level. Not just taking the obvious tool, ChatGPT, prompt engineering, that's the basic. All of you have the talent and the capability to take it to the next level within the companies that you work with. So I recommend you to go ahead, strategize what you're going to do in that space, execute, learn, and enjoy the benefit of that. That's it.
Yes, wow. Excellent. Don, please stay with.
Okay.
Now is a part for the audience to ask you questions. Yes, we have here a question, please.
I'm an old-timer, and when I was developing, the rule was if you changed it, you own it, and when it broke, you had to wake up whenever it was to fix the problem. In the future, with your vision, do we have a risk of losing the accountability to the individual developer because the developer will say, well, AI did it, it wasn't me.
But AI won't be fired, right? So I'm a big believer in what you're saying. Everyone are accountable for their output. Yeah, they're getting a booster, they're getting help. It's like you take something from Google, right? You don't say if Google gave you a wrong answer or you took it from a different website that was inaccurate or there was a fake news somewhere, you don't say that was the website. You take accountability. And I see it the same way. I don't see that for complex tasks. Maybe for simple tasks, that will replace some of the manual things that we are doing today. For the complex stuff that we are doing, and I hope that most of you are doing complex stuff, I don't see it replaces us. I see it give us another, like a kickstart, a booster to what we do, save us the things that we don't like to do, because there are some things that we don't like to do, but actually makes us better, and we should be accountable to the output, nobody else.
Okay, thank you. There is another question here from the audience, please.
Hello, Roy Azrad, Senior Privacy Officer, Just Eat Takeaway. So it's slightly connected. You say that human is always accountable, but this kind of technology could lead to over-reliance on AI when you develop. Yeah, because, for example, you click, you see the code, you verify, et cetera, and as you do it routinely, suddenly you start to rely it more and more and more, and then there is a risk of over-reliance. How do you deal with the risk? So it is related to the accountability, but how do you deal with the risk of over-reliance on AI with those things?
I think it's a challenge for any new technology, not just for AI. I think it's in the way you implement it and in the way you do it and actually take that into consideration in what you do. But we cannot be afraid of that. We just need to jump into the water and do that and monitor our progress. But any technology that is going out there can really fast destroy a lot of things. Like with GenAI, there are things that are much more scary, like the fake news and the fake images and everything, like deep fake of voice. There are so many scaring stuff that can happen with GenAI. We need to regulate that. We need to put the processes in place to make sure that it won't happen. But we cannot just be afraid and say, OK, we are not getting into the game because we don't know how it will evolve. We need to get into the game, but also make sure that we are doing it the right way.
OK, so quick questions? You had here a question?
You partially answered, but I was wondering if it already replaced some of the developers, or is it going to replace some of them in the future?
No, we are not doing that for replacing developers. We are doing that to do more for the market, for our customers. So the entire strategy around it, we are on steroids here in Israel. We want to do more. And some of it is frustrating because you cannot just hire and hire and hire. So we do the hiring, but we want to make sure that whatever we do it much more efficient, so we can focus more on the customer, do the things that are more complex, and deliver more products into the market.
With that, Rinat, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Amazing, really.